Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the YouTube Pain Sucks podcast. So if you're listening, welcome. If you're watching, welcome. We're really glad you're here. Today's one where you're going to probably want to watch because I'm going to explain something. So what I've been trying to do the last several weeks is give you like very real, tangible things you can do. I realize you can go in on Google and type in herniated disc, pain, exercises, and there are 1,000 videos to watch. And we'll make some of our own that I personally use and I use with our patients. But I also realize that exercising is not the only way to go ahead and help you get out of the pain that you really want to get rid of. And so one of the things I wanted to do the last several weeks was just give you very tangible things you can do. We've talked about ketosis. We've talked about how to do that. We've talked about some other things like wobble discs. We've talked about spinal movement that's not exercise. Today I want to talk to you about something that really helped me, and that is an acupressure mat. And so I happen to have mine right here, and so I'm going to show it to you. But you can see on these that all of these little spikes, they're very, very, very sharp. They're very, very, very pointy. And the idea is that when you lay on this, all these little points stimulate your skin and they stimulate nerve pathways to the brain. Now listen, when your brain is busy processing pain from your disc or your back or your neck, it's not thinking about a lot of other stuff at the moment. And so an acupressure mat does several things. The first thing it does is when you lay on it and all these points poke into you, it floods the brain with information. Now the brain is distracted. It's forced to process all of the information it's getting from all of these little spikes. The second thing acupressure mats do is they stimulate blood flow. And we know that in a lot of cases with pain, increased blood flow helps push the bad out and bring the good in. Now, I understand the conversation of inflammatory products in that blood, but the long-term effect of increasing blood flow is a very, very helpful thing. And then the third thing that I want you to be aware of that it does is that it actually interacts with your body's like energy pathways. And so if you're familiar with acupuncture, you'll understand what this is talking about. But acupressure is using the same principles to stimulate the meridians and the way that energy flows up and flows down the body. And lots of times these energy flow centers can be blocked. Just like a nerve can get blocked or an artery can get blocked, these energy flow centers can get blocked. And what happens is that by laying on these little acupressure points, that constant interpretation of the brain and the stimulation of those meridians, we can actually unblock a lot of healing. And so people always say, can you show me how to use this? No, you lay on it, and that is as simple as it gets. This goes under your neck. This goes on your upper back. Now, I am going to give you a couple of instructions based off my personal preferences. When you buy one of these acupressure mats, and in the comments below, I'll put the link to the one I got, but there's plenty of great ones out there, is going to come with instructions on how to use it. I actually varied from those instructions a little bit because those instructions were a little bit too much for me. These are very, very, very pointy, and my skin is very, very sensitive at the beginning. And so I took caution to make sure that when I started, I was using a layer of clothing like my t-shirt between these pokey things in my skin. And then the same with the neck roll is when I placed it behind my neck and laid down on it, I started with kind of like a very light hooded sweatshirt. There were times when I even just pulled my t-shirt up or added another t-shirt because I wanted to ease my body into this. The second thing is it said to start with about 5 minutes. Well, after about 2 to 3 minutes, I was not feeling well. There was so much blood stimulation and so many meridians that were being unlocked because of the pain I was in. My body felt like a flu state. So I'm going to encourage you to start slow and start small, meaning just do a small amount of time. Like maybe start with a minute, maybe 2 minutes at the most, where you're laying on this, and start with clothing in between the pokies and you. And then as you slowly get better at that, you can add a little more time, and then you can begin to remove clothes. The idea would be that these would be flush right on your skin with nothing in between, and that you could get a handful of minutes in. And I'm going to tell you right now that the results are fantastic. So these are called acupressure mats. Again, I'll put them in the links below. But guys, I'm trying to go ahead and throw out all these extra ideas at you, and I'm hoping that you're trying them. I'm hoping that you've looked into an infrared sauna. I'm hoping that you've bought your SCT oil. I'm hoping that you've done the wobble disc. I'm hoping that you will get your hands on one of these, and they're not expensive. Unlike the sauna, which could be a couple $1,000s, this is about $20. So, and use it and really start to feel the benefits of healing. So I hope that was helpful today. This is the Pain Sucks YouTube podcast. I hope you were watching today so you can see what this thing looks like. But if you're listening, just go ahead and check us out. And guys, remember, no one gets to tell you that you can't heal. All right? Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back next week with another tip.